Hey everyone, I'm Ryan, and this is Get Your Mind Right. So I've been reading this Diddy case and really following it. And as I was reading it, one could really begin to assume that, he had some women in his past that's now upset with him. Maybe they didn't get what they really wanted out of him. And so now they decided to go to the FBI and tell all their woes to him, right? And the more I read into it, the more I can obviously see that's not the case. You know what I mean? The FBI, they have been building a case upon this man, right? And so back to me reading everything and thinking about stuff, I begin to think of situations that I may have been in or someone close to me that I do care about have been in, and where, many people have broken the law, right? And although Diddy's situation can seem so much larger than what I may think I may broke the law in, someone else may have, you're still breaking the law. So I'm still reviewing this case because it's still ongoing. But he does have three crimes that he's alleged of breaking, right? So let's get into it, and we're going to compare these crimes to things that maybe an average citizen could possibly commit and not understand or not know that they are actually committing a crime.
Racketeering conspiracy Diddy allegation. He's accused of running an organized operation involving trafficking, bribery, kidnapping, etc. Basically, multiple crimes working together under one umbrella. That's what racketeering is about, a pattern of illegal behavior that benefits a group or enterprise.
All right, so as he said, racketeering conspiracy. So my example would be something really, it could come off as simple. Some people may see what it is just up front, but some people may not. So say for instance, you have a friend, maybe not your best friend, but somebody who is out here selling merchandise. If you pass that word on that this person is selling stolen merchandise and you're not passing it over to the law, but you're passing it on like you're advertising, right? And this person gets caught up in some crime stuff, you could get in trouble for that. Advertising stolen goods, even if you're the person, say for instance, you say, well, I didn't sell it, but you advertise it, and that person gave you a back end cut, right? It could be money, it could be a discount on the next merchandise they come across. But when you are running a crime as a group, meaning if I'm the head person in charge of this boosting, right? And uh I call somebody up and say, could you get on Instagram and tell people that you know somebody who have X, Y, and Z for sale, right? I'm gonna give you a deal later on, or I'm gonna give you a few dollars, or I got you in the future. That's still you're being a part of a racketeering conspiracy, right? Um, you know, I know many people who have brought stolen goods and didn't think twice about it, right? I know many people who even do the things with the whole food stamps, right? With your EBT card, you get money that's specifically only for food. If you go around selling that, or you go around advertising that such and such got this money that's only for food, and they're using that money that they're supposed to use for themselves and they selling to get money back, and that money is really food stamps, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Diddy allegedly used love, gifts, and threats to exploit women. That's called the Romeo pimp law. Fake love as bait, sex work as the trap.
Sex trafficking through force, fraud, or coercion, right? So I know earlier it mentioned about the Romeo law, and specifically, that's really basically about someone using romance, pretending like they're in a real committed relationship with another person in order for them to get money out of them, to force them to traffic themselves sexually with other people, right? And so I've actually remember when I was younger, seeing women that I knew, right, or I would say 17, 18, 19, 20 women that was my same age at that time, dating guys, but bragging to me and my friends like, I get money for him, I do this for him, like, I may sleep with other men, but it's all in the love for him, when really we all knowing he don't give a damn about her. That's just his money, right? So for instance, if you're a guy and you're seeing a woman, but you know damn well that you're really not in love with her, but you're selling her that dream that y'all may get married. You're selling her the dream if she does X, Y, and Z, she'll be the number one. She'll be the only one, right? If you're in a relationship with a girl, even if it's just if in her mind she's thinking it's boyfriend and girlfriend, and then you start to pressure her and she start to feel pressured that in order for me to keep this man, I got to do something illegal. I have to sell myself in order to keep him. That's something you could go to jail for. You know, you can even use a simple example of of a woman doing it to a man and take out the whole sex traffic thing, right? Something similar to if a woman says, if you don't pay me this amount every month, I'm going to take you to court. And when I take you to court, it's going to mess up your visitation and you'll never see your kids again, right? If that man can get that recorded or written down with some type of black and white proof to take that to a judge, what that woman is doing is forcing someone, coercing someone, because it's saying no, she didn't put a gun to his head and say you better do X, Y, and Z. But what she did do was say, if you don't do this, you don't get to see your kids. Now that's very different from sex trafficking, but that is my small way of showing you all how it's so easy for everyone to break a law. You know what I mean? This isn't covering for Diddy, but it's for you to cover yourself, to realize I better watch what I say. I better watch what I do to people, because guess what? It could come back and bite you in your ass for coercion. A lot of people do not believe in that, but once you hear certain scenarios, you say, okay, I can see why that person did that, right? So that's one of the crimes Diddy is getting in trouble for: sex trafficking through force, fraud, and coercion. The fraud part is making it seem like you my woman, we gonna eventually become just us two, we're gonna be together forever, when really he know that's not the truth. He know he's just trying to get them to do what he want to do, and that's it. But he's pretending as though I'm your man, you my woman. This is what you do for a man that you love.
Transportation to engage in prostitution, Diddy allegation. Took women across state lines to engage in paid sex.
Transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, I know everyone remembers the whole thing of flying someone out, right? And that was the concept of a woman meeting a man, maybe online, maybe at some type of event where the woman doesn't really live at the location that this event took place, or the man doesn't, right? And usually what happens is that the man wants wants to send for the woman to come out to visit him. And in most cases, I'm not going to say all, but in most cases, these men are looking for intercourse. They're looking for sex. They're not looking to hold hands. Maybe if the holding hands lead to sex, they're looking to spend a little bit of money on the woman. But the main goal is for them to get sex. They're bringing this woman out here for sex, right? And for a lot of women, even women that I've known who've done this, they really believe in a heart that this man is not sending for them to have intercourse. They're not thinking that. They're really thinking that this guy wants to come out there and spend time with them, right? So a woman gets out there, and the next you know, she's being pressured to have sex, right? She's starting to feel like, oh my God, did you just have me come out here just for intercourse? Now, for a young man, he may be assuming, well, why did you think I spent all this money just to sit up here and talk and hold hands? Well, dude, truth be told, you sitting up there assuming that you're going to get sex, basically, and when she comes out there and she doesn't do it and you get upset, in the eyes of the law, that's you basically transporting someone to engage in prostitution. I'm giving you X, Y, and Z for sex, right? And even if you say, okay, well, Ryan, I'm gonna cover my steps and basically tell her that in advance. Well, fool, if you got that, that's now in documentation in black and white. She's coming out here for money or just a trip in order for her to engage in sex with you, which is then termed as prostitution. Do you see how that line can easily blur if you're not paying attention? Then if you have a habit, meaning you using your credit card, you using Cash App, using all these devices, all these apps to book these flights, and it's a habit for you. Like if somebody reviewed your traced you, they could actually look and say, okay, this guy once a month has a woman from another state fly out. They stay at this hotel. They could calculate that and create a whole goddamn case on you, right? So while I'm not telling people, I'm not trying to cop block, right? I'm not trying to coochie block with people. I'm not trying to money block with people that do the whole fly me out thing. However, if that person is being watched, if he around somebody that's being watched, if that woman is being watched because she got a history of being flown out, guess what? It's going to look like, what's going to look like, y'all? Transportation to engage in prostitution. So, what do you do with all this? What do you do with this as a man, realizing that you could be committing a crime by doing a come fly me out? I mean, I'm going to fly you out and then you going to give me some. You might be really committing a crime, ready to go to jail. So, what do we have? All three of the crimes that a person that's looking at this Diddy trial could really sit back and ask themselves, am I doing this? The first one is racketeering conspiracy, which is a criminal operation involving trafficking, bribery, and kidnapping. Okay? The second one is sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. I say coercion. That's the best way I can pronounce it, right? And then lastly, transportation to engage in prostitution. Like I said, I know that many people could look at this and say, Ryan, I would never do such a thing, right? But you never know who you hanging around. You never know who's being watched. Where your little ignorance of the law could then get you in trouble. Okay? There's plenty of times in life I've did something or seen somebody do it and realized that was a crime. And my sister, she's very black and white. She's very hard, right? And she like, Ryan, ignorance of the law don't save you. And when she told me that day, I'll never forget it, because I said, oh my God, you're right. You're freaking right. You're right. If I don't pay my taxes for 5 years and say, oh, I didn't know I had to pay taxes, the government ain't gonna say, oh, don't worry about it, sweetheart. We'll start you paying taxes today. No, they're gonna backdate my ass. Right? I may get a lighter sentence if I could really play that dumb, but majority of the time you're gonna still get in trouble for ignorance of the law. So be aware. Listen to Diddy's case with open ears and a closed mouth. Everything I've been listening to this case, I feel like I know someone who did something similar, or I've been around situations where it's like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Because just like some of his assistants not going to the police, you know, their whole thing was, this man had the police in his back pocket. Doesn't mean they can't get in trouble, right? So be aware who you're around. Be aware that just because someone tells you yes does not mean you need to do it. I'm going to repeat that again. Just because they tell you, okay, I want you to do this. Okay, I'm willing to travel here. Okay, you know, as a man or as a woman, that this person tripping by doing that. You can feel it. You saying to yourself, they dumb. They shouldn't do that. But hell, if they gonna do it, so be it. Okay. Guess what? That might be a conspiracy charge on your ass. Have a good day, y'all.